How's it going, everybody? Hope that you're all doing really well, and welcome today, as I'm sure you can tell from the title of the video, to the final episode of the original Road to Glory on FIFA 17. Now, before we begin, some of you might be thinking, well, this series hasn't, you've not seen this for weeks now. It's been quite some time since you've seen any Road to Glory content on the channel, so you might have thought it was dead in the water anyway, which it kind of was. I finished it a while ago, really. I've been doing bits on stream when I've been streaming on Twitch. If you don't follow me on Twitch, I'm doing at least one stream a week at the moment, so be sure to follow me on there. The link will be in the description down below. But yeah, the series hasn't been featuring on YouTube at all over the past few weeks, but this has been one of my favourite series I've ever recorded on YouTube. It's been one of the more successful ones, and the interaction between me and you guys throughout this series has been just absolutely phenomenal. So I didn't want to just leave it to die there. I didn't want it to just leave it just unfinished, essentially. I wanted to draw a line under it, do a proper final episode, and that's exactly what today is going to be. Essentially, we're not going to be playing any games, anything like that. We're just going to be having a review of the club. We're going to be doing a club tour, looking at some of the players who've pulled some of their records, and just a general look around the club. It's almost like a farewell to the account and a farewell for the series, because at this point, I'm sure all of you know, I'm not really uploading much FIFA right now. I've been doing mainly football content, but of course that will be changing when FIFA 18 releases, and we'll be having a brand new Road to Glory starting, which, if you don't know, is going to be called the Rotation Road to Glory. That's the plan for FIFA 18. I haven't revealed exactly what that's going to entail, but it will be similar to this year in the fact that we're going to be spending no money on the game, seeing where we can take it, but there is a little bit of a twist on next year's series as well. So I'll be talking a bit more about that in a separate video, but without any further ado, I suppose let's get cracking and just have an overview of the Road to Glory account, the original Road to Glory account. So to kick things off, I suppose you can look at the overall record. We've won 726 games, drawn 22 matches, and lost 430. Of course, this year on FIFA, people's records didn't tend to be quite as good as in previous years, mainly due to the fact of the introduction of FUT Champions, something that we've participated in quite a lot, and I'm really pleased with what we've been able to achieve on the accounts. I mean, I've said it several times, when you consider we've spent £0 and 0 pence on this account, I think what we've achieved is incredible, especially bearing in mind that I'm not like a top tier FIFA player. Like, I'm good on the game, I like to think I'm above average, but I'm no like AO9 skills. There's people like that are hitting sort of the elite ratings every single week in FUT Champs. We tend to get sort of, if you've been watching this series, you'll know we tend to get between sort of Gold 3 and Gold 1 at a bit of a push. So I'm really pleased with what we've been able to achieve. We've currently in the account got 646 coins. We've literally, the account really hasn't got a lot in it. We threw everything that we had at the Team of the Season SBCs, trying to pack as many new blues as we could, and unfortunately we didn't get super lucky with that. We only got a couple, I think, not including the ones that we of course got from winning the tournaments. But division wise in online seasons, we're actually currently in Division 2. Now, we have done a lot in Division 1. We've never, unfortunately, been able to win Division 1, but we had a bit of a bad run out last time, clearly, and we're now in Division 2. I think we've played one and won one. I think you can actually look at the overall season's record, so you can say, oh, well, one win off 100. How about that? We've got 99 wins and 42 losses in seasons. You can see in this current division, we've played just the one game and won it. I think this year I've been really comfortable in Division 2 in the end, but just not quite good enough to just shy of winning Division 1, basically. Single player, there's not a lot to mention here. We did a little bit of single player seasons at the very start of the year when trying to earn packs and coins and that kind of stuff, when times were a little bit more desperate, I suppose. If you're looking at the online, of course, the current FUT Champions starts in 1 day and 14 hours as I'm recording this, but I've not done FUT Champions for several weeks now, so we're not qualified for that. Squads we'll look at in just a second. I've not really got any squads saved up, but I have got all of the best players that we've pulled in one nice squad for, and it's pretty much all that we've got left in the account, excuse me, right now anyway. But transfer list should be empty now. Transfer targets, nothing like that. I think looking at the club, we've currently got 710 players in there, and interestingly, like I say, I put all of our best players that we've pulled and used into this squad, so these stats actually reflect who our top scorer is throughout the year, essentially. So Anthony Martial's red card is our top scorer for FIFA 17, coming away with 373 goals. Top assister is actually Luis Suarez. His SBC card that took us absolutely ages to grind for, but was 100% worth it. He's got the most assists in 270, and most games played is also Anthony Martial with 633, but we've also got the second in form Vicente Iborra, who's played an incredible 599 games. And I think if you ask me who my favourite player was that I've used this year, like unlikely player, it would definitely be this Iborra card. We unlocked him through, I think it was a 2-player pack or a 1-player upgrade pack. It was like an absolutely crazy pull out of nowhere. And I love this card. I think you look at the fact that he's got 58 pace, and a lot of people don't tend to use him because of that. But you can see, I mean, 80 dribbling is decent, and he's got 88 shooting, 18 on physical, 88 defending. He is an incredible central midfielder on this game, and probably one of my favourite cards of the year. And I'm actually really looking forward to FIFA 18. If we build a Premier League side at one point to using his Leicester City card, hopefully he can do well there and pick up a couple of informs, because I think a Premier League Bora could be potentially even better. But I think if you're asking me my favourite player full stop, then it definitely have to be a tie between Martial and Suarez. I really don't think I can choose between either of them. They've both been absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at both their records. Suarez, 522 games, 292 goals and 270 assists. And Martial, perhaps with the slightly better one, of 633 games. He's played 100 more games, but he's got 373 goals, which is nearly 100 more. 260 assists, which is only 10 less as well. So both of these guys absolutely outstanding. And if we mainly look now, I suppose, the main thing we want to be focusing on are the players that we have got in this account. We've just had a quick look at Bora, Suarez and Martial. We've also got, of course, the red dot baller that we managed to pull. He has now played for us 256 games, 195 goals and 96 assists. El Shaarawy, another card that we absolutely grinded to unlock, 371 games, 211 goals and 123 assists. So all these cards I absolutely love. This year I've really enjoyed sort of working hard to unlock a particular card, then using that card into the ground, aka your Martials, your Suarez, the Dybala, the El Shaarawy. And we recently unlocked the Pick Florenzi, very nice card. We've only played one game with him, because I've not really been playing much Ultimate Team whatsoever over the past few weeks. We've already spoke about Ibora, a gold card that was also an unlikely hero for us this year. Joshua Guilavogui, absolutely solid card, great for linking in other leagues from the Bundesliga as well. And 347 games, only the 16 goals and 32 assists. But this guy, if you've watched the series, you'll know, bought for 850 coins. I mean, he's been an absolute servant for this club. He really, really has. Looking at the defence, we've got a couple of crappy red cards that we pulled early on. We've got a few of those down the bottom here as well. Vaughan, Stanislas was a nice pull at the time. And also this guy here, Masucci. But we've also got the team of the season, Fernandez, that we unlocked from the tournament. Played a fair few games with him, 22. Very solid card. Recently, of course, unlocked the team of the season, Chiellini, right at the end of team of the season in a single player upgrade pack, which was pretty crazy. I only played the 12 games with him. On stream recently, I did the birthday SBC, and we got super lucky in that, pulling the birthday Abate, which was, I mean, we're not playing games right now, so it doesn't make any difference to me, but if you look, fits perfectly into the Serie A themed squad that we had going on, so that was nice. On the bench, we've also got the Martial that, of course, you've just seen. We've got the team of the season, Marquinhos, who's been, like, I've not used him a lot, 27 games, but very, very solid. Team of the season, Gylfi Sigurdsson as well. We've played a whopping 101 games with him, which when you consider I've not played many games since team of the season, he's been in nearly every single squad that we've done, because I really, really like this card. He's come away with 34 goals and 24 assists, and when you consider most of the time he's been playing in centre midfield, not at camp, that is a very nice return. And his long shots and free kicks are just, I mean, I'm sure you guys will know, are just absolutely incredible. Without doubt, one of my favourite cards this year as well. Really, really up there, Sigurdsson. I've also got Blue Conti, a player that we pulled in a pack. I think that might have even been in a, is he tradable? It might have been in a bronze pack, you know. I know it must have been in an untradable pack. Played a fair few games with him. I think I used him in a whole weekend league at right back. He's got pretty nice defensive stats for a right mid. We've got Calajon. Don't think I've used him much. I only played 13 games with him. Another unlockable one, Michael Keane. I mean, when you consider, not including the players that we unlocked, players that we actually packed, we only, throughout all of the team in the season, we must have done hundreds and hundreds of SBCs and stuff like that. We only packed Michael Keane, we packed Chiellini, and we packed, is that it? I think that might be all we got, and that is absolutely crazy when you consider all the money, coins and stuff like that we put into it, and time. Absolutely ridiculous. But he's been another really solid card. We've used him a lot, 131 games. Very, very tidy centre-back from the BPL. Tom Heung-min Son. If I get that out again, Heung-min Son. He's played the month card, which we unlocked very late on when it was released, actually. But again, he's a crazy card. Look at that goal return: 110 games, 41 goals and 31 assists. Not too bad at all. Sorry, for a player that plays majority of his time on that left-hand side. Of course, we did play him a bit at left mid and a 3 at the back, but we also at the same time played him a bit at striker as well. And then we very recently unlocked this Mitroglou. Never used him, never going to use him, because the account's probably not going to be used again unless we do the odd thing on stream now. But on the whole, I am really, I mean, I've mentioned it already, I'm really pleased with what we've been able able to achieve without spending any money on the game. We're going to have a quick look now. I think you can look at some proper in-game stats for as far as seasons go. I don't think you can do it for FUT Champions, unfortunately, but if you go into season history here, you can see we've completed 19 seasons, 9 of them we've won the title. Best finish, look at that, Division 1, 19 points. That was when we were really gunning for the title, but probably bottled it near the end, knowing ourselves. Pass accuracy, 77%, which as an average is not too bad. I like to get it in that high 80s, and obviously you're going to have your off games. I mean, you consider that's been since the start of FIFA. I actually don't think that's too bad at all. Possession is 46%, and that actually surprises me because I think I dominate the ball quite often. I like to keep a lot of possession. Total goals scored in seasons, 381. 2.35 is an average per game. 241 goals conceded, and also an average of conceding 1.49 goals per match, which is a plus 140 goal difference, which isn't too bad, I suppose. I mean, I don't know what people's averages are for that, so I can't really comment if that's good or bad. I'd like to look at some FUT Champions statistics, but I'm not particularly sure we can. That's just going to be current rank and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that's going to end it off, lads. It's been an absolutely amazing series. It's been one of my favourites, if not my favourite series that I've ever done on YouTube. I mean, I love doing Road Glories. I love the feeling of when you're grinding through and you're earning your players and earning your victories. It really does feel like it feels a lot better knowing you've grinded through and earned it rather than spending money on the game, in my opinion, which is the reason why I really love this series. And like I've already mentioned at the very start of the video, we will be doing something very, very similar on FIFA 18. The Rotation Road Glory is something that I plan on streaming a lot on Twitch, but you will also be seeing it on YouTube as well, of course. So I hope you're all looking forward to that. Like I said at the start, we'll be revealing a bit more about what that's going to entail it's in a later video when FIFA 18 is a little bit closer. But yeah, I suppose all that's left to say is thank you very much for your support throughout this series. It's been a joy to record, it's been a joy to play. I would love to know if you've got like a particular favourite moment from the series or a card that we unlocked. It's been a personal favourite for yourselves. I don't know if you guys sort of have favourite cards when watching, whereas obviously I obviously will when playing, so that'd be pretty interesting to know if some of you have. And yeah, that's going to end off the video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, again, thank you for your support throughout this series. I will catch you all in the next video, which I'm not quite sure what it's going to be, but worst case scenario, sorry, you will be seeing a match day vlog from the Man City Brighton game on Monday. I think there'll probably be a stream or a video or something in between now and then, but if not, I'll catch you all there, lads. Enjoy the rest of your evening, enjoy the rest of your day, whatever time you're watching this, and I'll speak to you all next time. Nidge out.